Despite an absolutely massive onslaught of horrible reviews, why is Overwatch 2 so successful? It's something I've been wondering for months, ever since it came out about 3 months ago. With such an incredible oversaturation of games trying to create what's literally heroin in gaming form,
how did they think that was okay to even put it in the game? I'm so sick of this fucking company. They're trash! Fix the game! It sucks playing the shit! And I'm fucking addicted! So I can't quit! I'm so sick of this shit! I'm done! I'm done streaming!
I've noticed that despite a generally horrible player reception, games like League, Valorant, Rainbow Six, CSGO, and Overwatch reach levels of success envied by so many game studios. These games are clearly extremely addictive, giving us a constant need to hit that next rank or unlock that next item, even if the content is completely bare bones. I want to elaborate on this further and why we feel so compelled to play these games. But first, I want to give a history recap of
Attackers incoming. Prepare your defenses.
Overwatch 1 was met with extremely positive praise by millions, with an absolute explosion of popularity. And it wasn't even free back then. It was $40 for a live service game, which wasn't even that abnormal back then. It was a 6v6 ability-based FPS with a heavy focus on optimizing your team's utility to the maximum extent. With the previous developer failure that was TF2, which Overwatch was kind of modeled after, this was clearly the next ability-based shooter to take over the market. Led by Jeff Kaplan, who went on to become one of the most famous game devs of all time and a pretty big meme in the Overwatch community, this game seemed like nothing short of genius. It certainly helped that they had extremely cool skins, an infinite money printer that was the loot box system, and a bunch of variables due to it being such a diverse game. It was infectious to so many people. But after multiple years, Jeff Kaplan leaving the team in 2021, and an overall bad set of balance changes, decisions, and overall maintenance with the game, it began to die near the end. It didn't help that the player base was becoming a lot more toxic, not to mention the Overwatch competitive scene was having a lot of issues that could probably be covered in a totally separate video. But there were many issues that were causing Overwatch 1 to really not be in the same level of success that it was. And it was very clear that Overwatch was dying, and Blizzard needed to do something quickly. So they created
Oh my god! Oh my fucking god! Holy shit! Holy shit! Oh my god! Oh my fucking god! Holy shit!
In November of 2019, something crazy happened. Blizzard unsheathed something they had been working on for years, a PvE system, a reworking of the old 6v6 Overwatch system, many new changes, and a new game in the form of Overwatch 2. This game was going to be free, and with the interest of so many people through the PvE implementation, this is the exact hype that Blizzard needed. A lot of people began to drop out of Overwatch 1 in anticipation of the brand new game, especially as the date became closer and closer, and time began to pass. Fast forward to October 4th, 2022, and Overwatch 2 was released. A lot happened before this. Blizzard dealt with many different allegations, which, whether you believe them or not, are definitely very impactful on a company's reputation, and overall, definitely makes me like a company a lot less, as it should with anybody else. Some other issues that definitely were happening on the inside, and overall repetition of greed throughout the years with Blizzard, especially in the WoW community, which overall made Blizzard's reputation pretty horrible, all things considered. So Overwatch 2 was really not that cut out for success, but the hype behind it, considering it was years in the making, was extremely high. Now, how did it do? Despite the mostly positive reception on the actual changes they did do, such as the new maps, new map variations, some really cool UI changes, graphic updates, new characters, and finally, changing it to a 5v5 instead of a 6v6, overall, it was not received very well. As previously mentioned, there was a massive onset of negative reviews, and there were many reasons for this. For the first reason, for a new title, this was an extremely low amounts of new content. This is the type of stuff that games like League of Legends, Valorant, or Rainbow could pretty much add within a year or two. Skins were extremely overpriced in comparison to the old RNG-based system. Despite loot boxes having a negative reception, some people believe this was even worse. The PvE system they promised nearly 3 years ago was nowhere to be seen, delayed, and we haven't really got much about it since. This is something that many YouTubers, specifically one that I watch a lot, Video Game Donkey, was extremely disappointed about because this was something a lot of people were really hyped for. And a lot of the stuff previously promised in the Overwatch 2 announcement and other announcements, the promises really were never met. Not to mention, servers were so overloaded you'd wait for hours to join, just to get in for 10 minutes, get into a game, and kicked out just to wait all over again.
10,000. Oh my god! Oh my, now that is gameplay. 8,000, 7,000, 6,000, 5,000. I'm gonna win. Game server connection failed. What is that? What does that mean? I'm already logged in, you dumbass shit. 0. Holy shit! 0. I'm gonna beat this game. I'm gonna be the first person on this game. I'm gonna beat the whole game. I'm gonna get Winston back. 40,000 players. Huh?
Not to mention there was also a greedy reworking of the character system, causing you to have to buy the battle pass or play a bunch to unlock the new character, essentially screwing you over if the character ends up being overpowered and your tank can't pick them up yet. There's much more than that I won't really elaborate on further, simply because there's like a million videos about it like I mentioned before, but just watch one of those videos if you really want to know. With this many issues and an obviously very greedy people leading the team, why was it so successful? During the research of this video, it really taught me a lot about the overall gaming audience and how they receive things. We were given an online game you can play with friends, grind, and play ranked in, and that was just plenty of content for so many people. With a rank system that updates your rank every 7 wins, creating a very addictive cycle for pretty much any player that plays it, and even I noticed myself get sucked into it recently. There's nothing more fun than hopping on with people, whether it be Rainbow, Valorant, League, or whatever, and just grinding rank with them, and just winning as many games as you possibly can. Just tryharding with your friends. I think that shows that even if a company is shady, broke many promises, and overall does not listen to the audience as much as they should, they still got endless amounts of success. Even if Overwatch died right now, there's no way I'd be lying if I said it made millions. This game was absolutely massive and took over pop culture for basically a solid month or two entirely. You really couldn't go anywhere without seeing something related to Overwatch. Even if people want to claim this game is dying due to its overall dishonesty with the players, it's still clear there are hundreds of thousands of people that are still most likely going to be playing it. And this is wild to me, considering there are some fantastic indie games everywhere on Steam or on other platforms. Some free, some as little as $10, which all present fantastic stories with super fun gameplay that engages with the player and rewards them. There's even other free online multiplayer games with much more supportive and honest dev teams, with the same exact grind you would do in Overwatch, just with a smaller player base. This made me kind of realize that the way that the current gaming industry works, as long as people have a lot of people to compete against in a game style like this, a team-based shooter with ranked, it doesn't really die. And that's exactly why it's extremely The explosion and continuous success of Overwatch 2, despite critics' overall negative opinion, is just extremely concerning. Throughout many different markets like fashion, technology, and many more, this trend continues, and it sucks that it's very clear and apparent in gaming too. Despite the fact that a game may have just broken all of its promises and hit the bare minimum expectations, just because it's a good time waster, will clock in hundreds of hours in just a matter of a few months. As this trend continues, it's a constant reminder of how much we are doing a disservice to so many good indie game studios out there, creating fantastic content and fantastic games. I think the popularity of these types of games, in combination with the overall extremely popular genre that is first-person shooters, creates a set of consumers that are lazy to play or find better games. To them, after work or school, a 6-hour session of Overwatch pushing for gold is enough, because at least if you hit it, there's genuine progress that you can immediately see, and you get that hit of dopamine. And if it's a day where you go 1-9 and get off wanting the sweet taste of death, most of the time you want to play just as much tomorrow to get back where you were when you started. Rank systems in these team-based games are extremely addictive, and with the proper MMR system, a dense player base, and an infinite amount of variables, they just keep people coming back. And I don't think that's a bad thing, and I don't think that's anything someone should be guilty about. I don't want you to feel bad about having fun, which is literally what gaming is all about. Competing with your friends and giving a shit about who's platinum, even if it won't matter in 2 months, that's kind of just the fun of it. And I've kind of been in that exact same boat sometimes. I basically spent my entire summer of 2020 just playing Valorant. I literally lost friendships because of how addicted I was to that game at one point. There's a reason why they're so popular, even if we're maybe only getting balance changes and a few skins every month, just as their main source of content. I have almost 2,000 hours in CSGO. I've played these games to the bitter end, so there's nothing I want more than to experience the games I really wish I wouldn't have neglected. If you want to follow along with me on this process, I've been trying to stream multiple times a week at 5 p.m, so come along with me on YouTube and check out my stream. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Make sure to check out my other socials in the description below, and if you enjoy platform fighters, I do also create some multiverses content on this channel. And if you guys want more content like this, make sure you drop a sub and like. I really appreciate it. Anyway guys, see you guys next time. Peace out.